Hi, I'm James Harrell from Valdosta, Georgia. I've lived and grown up in a rural county in southern Georgia, Brooks County, and most of my music experience has taken place in this area. My parents wanted me to take piano lessons when I was 6 years old, and we lived in a small duplex, but our landlady had a piano. So she was agreeable to me coming over and practicing piano. So I got my first piano instructor when I was 6 and tried to practice every day, but it was a bit hit or miss. I went through a recital and had fairly good results. And then because of a school change, I had to get a different instructor, and he was English and very strict. So by the age of 9, or 3 years of being trained in classical music, I really wanted to do American standards and popular music, and he was absolutely not. And he was the strict kind that back in those days, he would take a ruler and rap you over the knuckles if you didn't play the notes correctly. So it wasn't long before I decided to abandon him. And that was at 9 years old. And since 9 years old, I've had no formal training until I found pianoly. What felt challenging was the day-to-day practice. These were songs that, while they were classics and beautiful in their own way, they weren't the type of music that I wanted to learn how to play. So it became a bit of drudgery, and I can't say that I really saw a lot of improvement because they would just say, learn this song and we'll see you next week and you play this song for us. And that just didn't work out for me. The big change for me was actually an amazing change. I retired from medicine as a physician in 2019. And for several years, I was dealing with retirement. That's not an easy thing to go from being an emergency physician to you're no longer practicing. Then last December, which is my birthday month, my wife gifted me, if I wanted to, a membership in piano. And to preface that, I had been over the internet looking at all of the various piano online courses, and I didn't even realize how many there were. But Caitlin's course gradually just came to the forefront. I liked her personality. I liked her method of teaching. She wasn't pushy. She wasn't judgmental. And she didn't try to steer you to one genre of music. So I talked it over with my wife, and I called and set up an appointment with you. And you were very pleasant to talk with, and I made the decision to go with it. And I have not regretted it since. Preparing for the spring recital was absolutely the most nerve-wracking thing that I've done, even as a physician. And I've seen car wrecks and any number of terrible traumas and terrible illnesses. But I have to admit, I was calm during those, but wanting to do well for the recital was so stressful, but yet it was an enjoyable stressful. I have never sat down willingly and played piano every day for as much as an hour and a half a day, though I tried to limit it to 30 to 45 minutes on Caitlin's advice. But I enjoyed it, so I would keep playing. And I picked out a song that I really, really liked, a song by Leon Russell, and worked it to where I said something I thought I'd never say about me after I had recorded a session. And I told my wife, I'm satisfied with this. This sounds pretty good. And that was so pleasing. When the recital started, one of the really nice things I had was the support of the community. We call ourselves the Piano League community, and it's just the best group. Everyone is as supportive as you could possibly imagine. I don't see any people that try to one up another member of the community. We text all the time. We'll also privately chat. And this has just worked out great. I mean, I feel like I've made 160 friends, which I think was the number when I started. And the number now has really grown. So I know people are liking the course and spreading the word too. I also enjoyed all of the YouTube videos that Caitlin has been doing. But back to the recital. So I had the support of the community, and I looked at where I was playing and nervously waited for that to come up. I wasn't sure how the sound was going to come across because I did direct piano to phone microphone, but thanks to your help, it seemed to come across well. So I was happy, and I was really happy with the way everyone else played. There's such a good group, and there's such a large multiple levels of where everybody is in their piano journey. Some are absolute beginners, and others can sight read a little bit, and others know other instruments that they've transferred over to piano. But the recital was great. I can't count the number of times I've watched it because I just enjoy it. If I had to pick what I'm most proud of, it would be that I'm learning a new language of music that I knew nothing about since I stopped taking lessons at 61, excuse me, at age 9. So that's 61 years ago. I would just play songs with a little bit of sight reading that I knew how to do, but I knew nothing about what Caitlin's teaching as far as reading a lead sheet. I didn't even know what a lead sheet was. If you had put the symbol capital C, small m, I had no idea that that was C minor. So all I was doing was reading notes, and I had a pretty good sense of rhythm and tempo because I've always loved listening to music. But that's what I'm most proud of. I have added lead sheet reading. Sometimes I'll combine a little sight read with a little lead sheet use, and I try to incorporate those. And one strongly positive thing I'll say about Caitlin is she never tries to push me away from doing this or doing that. She makes her recommendations in a very kind fashion, and I'll stay with her as long as she'll stay with us. One of the things that surprised me the most was the speed at which I was able to learn the chords when I was following her program. And I was very diligent about following the Accelerator program, chapter and subsection by chapter and subsection. It worked for me. So you start out with learning fundamental chords and you build on that. I kind of like jazz music. So when I got to sevenths as far as chords, that was where I really enjoyed listening to the tonal sounds of those. But Caitlin tells you, be patient, but it's amazing how fast you can move through the book, play a song, and she even has the songs kind of staged to where you're playing grown up, adult, popular, top 10 to number one songs, and you sit back and say, wow, I did it in 3 months instead of never. So that was really good. I would definitely recommend piano. As I had said, I looked over a lot of online courses, and there are a lot to look through. And some were just selling things that they couldn't give you. Caitlin was always very honest, very direct about what her course offered, and very genuine, I think, was the real selling point. And it does seem to be geared for adults. I've watched fellow students go from not playing anything on the piano and not knowing how to even form a chord to playing complete songs in a public recital. And I can't tell you how nerve-wracking public recitals are. So yeah, she's guided me quickly. I started in late December, as I had mentioned, and right now, I really enjoy the songs I'm playing. I've been completely through the Accelerator, and then I started over, and it's still enjoyable, even going through the beginning again. And I'm looking at songs for the winter recital, and I'm a fella that hasn't done a recital since he was 9 years old, and that particular recital for me was a disaster. So this has been a monumental step for me. I've been so many places in my life and time. I've acted out my life on stages with 10,000 people watching. We're alone now, and I'm singing this song for you. No one more important to me, so darling, can't you just see through me? 'Cause we're alone now, and I'm singing my song for you. I love you in a place where there's no space or time.